Joel,
Here we go.
love your honest take on things. I mean, we hung on your every word for how many years with the soup, as well as your multiple, television shows and movies. But we like to hear your honest opinion. So if you're open to it, we'd like to take the Joel poll.
Everything is very disturbing about that. I should have called the Joel McHale show on Netflix, the Joel poll. Maybe it would still be on. That's terrifying.
All right. Well, okay. Comment on this. How do you feel about skinny jeans? The kids say they're out.
Hey, you kids. Just so you know it, skinny jeans will never be out until you pry them off my cold, dead, very compressed calves. Okay? Still in. I've invested way too much.
Okay. Hugging was trending on Twitter the other day. Are hugs gross now?
Okay, hugs have always been not gross and gross. There's a spectrum of hug, and if you let the hug go even a second or two too long, then it's gross.
Yeah, I think it's time for just the birth of a new salutation. Okay, it's the final season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Any predictions on what we might see in the final season?
Is that a television show?
Yes, exactly. Funny enough, on your old alma mater, E.
Oh, I always called it, Yeah, hey, I'm so sorry for the Kardashians because I can't believe the show got canceled. I thought it was gonna go the distance.
Yeah, it's like 20,000 years I think it's been on.
Early on, we used to make fun of them on The Soup, and Kris Kardashian would call every week and be like, he made fun of us again. And so it was then the president of E would call, Ted Harbert it was like we had thrown a baseball into their yard, and then they're like, this is mine. And so Ted would always be like, hey man, can you kind of lay off them this week? And I'll be like, sure. And it's like, then 2 weeks from now is fine. And so and then I got to know Kris a little bit, and she's lovely. But that was early on. That was back in 2006, Drew.
I know so many people who know and work with them, and the rumors are just nice upon nice upon nice.
Yeah, and I think that is their secret weapon for their longevity, is that they're super kind, and I think their crew would die for them. So I think they made that thing a real family, and obviously the popularity was almost as popular as The Soup, but still they got close.
I love The Soup so much. I never missed an episode. It's like the best show ever. I'm like a talk show host now. Would you have any advice for me, Joel?
The problem is you've been on a short period of time, but you're really good at it. So, obviously that's the thing, is that you've kept this thing conversational and kind of, and very cool. You can tell the vibe is relaxed. And so, you're cool and calm. So that lends itself to professionalism, which we rarely went after. It's hard to pull a clip.
You know what? I think when we launched, you probably could have pulled a lot of clips.
Oh. Well,
I came out
we
of
have
the
a time
gate,
machine.
Yeah, I came out of the gate real strong. I was like hosting a talk show with not a lot of guests and no audience. And I was like, I know, I'm just gonna go for it. And it was like the third quarter of 2020, we were all nuts. It was a time. It was a weird time to come out acting like everything was normal. So I just kind of went with it, and
Do you think that when an audience returns, you'll be feel it's all of a sudden new again, all of a sudden you're hosting a different type of show? Or do you think you'd be like, I've had so many reps that I'll be fine?
I think that, the crew and I really bounce off each other, and we sort of made a pact early on to just be noisy and ourselves and kind of egg each other on, because you do need that energy. And I would always hear people giggling and, egging you on The Soup. It's like, if you do this to avoid, you're going to go crazy, because nobody can work without any response. Like when we were starting, other than our crew and family, I had no idea if anything was funny or landing. Like that's what an audience can give you, is some barometer and indication. So thank God for the crew, because they have been that North Star for me and the energy in the room. And so I'm very lucky, and I think other people will just be an extra addition to.
Yeah, no, I think I can hear your crew laughing, and that's really cool.
That's the thing, they don't give it up. So if they do laugh, you know they like it.
The first year of the soup, nobody watched. So the only people laughing were the crew and the writers and the producers. So that when people started watching, I never changed the mindset that I'm like, oh, I'm still just trying to make my friends laugh. And I think that I kept that throughout the 12 years that we did it. So, and that really helped me, because I didn't know if it was funny or not. I was constantly questioning it.
I think that was the best piece of advice, that if we do keep the intimacy of this show and we're trying to make each other laugh rather than like pandering to the outside, maybe that is a secret recipe, because the soup was crushed. It was like the first of its kind. And I think there's been many copies since, and it's just, you were such an original, and it was a magical recipe. So I'm really gonna take that advice to heart, and I will be happy. And we wanted to launch a show that we were enjoying and having a good time at, and felt thankful to be at, regardless. So yeah, I think we'll keep that recipe, Joel. Thank you.
I just wish I had made money off those other shows, but I didn't.
You gotta laugh. See?
Yes.
Oh, Joel McHale, I'm so happy to see you and hang out. And thank you for that brilliant advice. And I'm just so happy for your movie Happily, which is so fun and delicious, and out in theaters and on demand right now. And give my very best to your family.